that I run it, so I won't be able to run it as often. So I'm going to spend next month getting everything set up for the following, just trying to get them another few, because there's 4 of the modules, try to get them all up and running. So that's what we're trying to do today. So I'm just getting interfaces up and running. There we go. Now it has been a long time since I've had this overlay. So hopefully everything's going to come through nice and clean. There we go. So here's my dungeon prep overlay. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do today with our dungeon prep is something a bit different. So I'm just going to open. Oh, no, we don't. Ah, just kidding. So I just got to change the dashboard. That's all I'm doing. Lots and lots of bits and pieces. So yeah, what I'm going to do is just make a few maps for the new final episode. Now the maps we're going to do is the Licto village, a intermediate, and a final encounter. So that's what we're going to do. But because it's the final finale, essentially, they're going to be very different. And when I say very different, I really do mean it. Just updating that there. So this is a blank map in Roll20. If you're not familiar with it, it's just a blank slate that we can then work off. We use Roll20 for all of our bits and pieces because I like Roll20. It's kind of generic, but it works for me. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through marketplace purchases and see what we can build from. Now what's going to make this a bit different from most of my games is that I'm actually going to be doing it as a sci-fi adventure. That's what's going to be the whole thing. So I've got some assets, I haven't played with them as much as I really want to. But we're just going to have a look at what I can bring out, what I can use. Actually, I don't even know the size of these. This seems to be a 5x5, so I may have to drag this all the way out. There we go, 5x5s, 6x6, etc, etc. So sorry about that, but I do need to see what's going on. There we go, 6x6 hallway. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should do it actually like this. There you go, 6x6. That does not seem to match up. Or was it this one that was 6x6? There you go, that one does match up. This must have been the 5x5. Yeah, 5x5 matches up, there we go. So we're just going to piecemeal something together for our players and see what we can develop for them. I like the idea of all these corners. I like these. These are pretty good. So what size are they supposed to be? 6x6, yep. So all these assets can be purchased in Roll20 Marketplace. I've got a lot of assets which I purchase, they just make it easy once you've got a few to just start piecemealing things together. I mean, I can do this to here and make that as a hallway. I can flip this, copy it, paste, and then flip it. There you go. And things start to develop like that. So let's see what else we can do. Oh, there's actual properly done here. There we go. There we go. So the reason why I prefer doing properly done ones is because it actually does the shadows in the right areas. So all the shadows for this one are there, and for that one is same, and the middle piece is not. So that actually needs to be, nope, that needs to be flipped. Where am I? There. Flip horizontal. There. That should put the shadows in the same locations. Yeah, like so. And that's how we do things. So what we're going to do is we need a home base for the goblins. We need an encounter area. And we need a finale. And I'm just trying to see what I can do as a home base initially. And we'll work off that. So I'm thinking this is going to be a home base. Home base can be quite big. So we'll just keep on putting things together until it looks about right. And work from there. There, I want that one. So I'm not an artist, but I go by the idea of quit when you think it's finished, and don't overdo things. So these are the corners of our map. There we go. So I could copy and paste that across onto there. Or even have something like that in there too. Just for the added mess. Okay, so what else do we have here? 2x4. Fits in perfectly. And I like the emergency lighting lights. It actually fits with what's going on. Oh, that's a big hallway. So all these unfortunately like one entrance, one exit. I'm looking for a multi, like a 3-prong or 4-prong. So I can't really make, here we go, that's what I want. Wall junction. I have to see how big that is. Oops. It's only a 4x4, okay. Well, I like these two. Oh, I like these ones. 5x8. I like those. So change these to 5x8. I'm just putting things on the map, seeing how they fit. Set dimensions. And seeing just kind of just laying out things little by little. Copy. That's what I was doing. But then that doesn't work. But there was another one there. 4x4. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Oh, that's right, I've got it set as drawing. So drawings don't snap to map. Copy. I should be pasting here somewhere. There we go. Copy. Paste as a gap. There we go. So things are starting to shape up, even as quickly as already. There we go. It's starting to go. Now I need the opposite of that. So that would be there, 5x8. Just wait for the, there we go. Now that's going to get in the way, so I may have to remove and see how that fits in. These middle ones may also have to be removed. But it's all about experimentation at the moment. And I want that one, 4x4. So this is of course the hardest way of doing it. There are lots of far more easier ways of doing this. There we go, that kind of fits. Actually, it totally fits. Awesome. Yeah, this is actually shaping up, kind of. Two. Four by two. That's what I'm looking for. Dimensions. Oops. 2. There we go. Put that in there too. And we're slowly starting to build this up. Where are my dimensions? 4x4. Copy, paste. Now if you're wondering, but everything else is bright and lit up. Well, what we're going to do as well is change that. So we can actually change the background. I don't want that. I want a dark grey. Okay, make that a lot darker grey than that. Okay, make it black. There we go. So now everything's going to be really dark, and off screen is going to be definitely off screen. Okay, so what else do we have? Now I've got some of these. That's the wrong angle. It should be that way. So I'm still working with angles, still working with bits and pieces. And shading. There's got to be a big room somewhere. There's always big rooms. Well, there should always be, but I don't think there is for this. So I'll leave that here. And see what we can do. There was some weirder shapes. I spotted earlier. These are the ones I was looking for. 4x5. Okay, so that's probably not going to match up enough. Although I can just go like that. And that seems to start matching up. There we go. And do the same on this. I like the idea of symmetrical because it's supposed to be in a ship. Yeah, 4x5. There's something wrong there. I don't know what happened there, but there we go. So that's something simple. And then we do the whole zoom out. Select everything. And this doesn't always work. It seems to work now. I can delete that one there. And we can then also put in junk and bits and pieces. Oh, look at all the lit up areas. Wow. All these areas are lit up. Now mind you, oh. I should have scrolled lower. I really should have. Let's see what I can do with some of these. So 15 by 15. Let's have a look. So all I'm doing now is just a dungeon prep. Just making some maps, just chatting. Come in, have a chat. That's what I'm here to do. Fifteen by 15. There we go. And that lines up. Well, that's still more at the back. Oh, that's right. These are not 30 maps. So yeah, 25 by 25. I need 30 by 30. That's what I'm looking for. So what about one of these? $15 by 15. So these are generally, when you buy a pack, they'll have a modular, which is what we're using now. Pre-made, slap down, done type situations. And with the modulars, they will generally fit each other in a pattern designed by the person that made them. Hence, they'll snap to grid here and they'll line up. It's just about finding the pattern that works for you. That one I can get rid of. There we go. There should be a... Well, I like the bunk beds. That's a lot of sleeping quarters. Those ankle ones, that's the one I wanted. 15 by 15, that one. So the setting is going to be a junket, as in a space host. I won't say space hulk because that's copyright and whatnot, but it's going to be a junket in space, a derelict spacecraft. Oh, wow, this is getting huge. This is so much more detail than I'm liking this a lot. I'm really liking this map. Yeah. And there's also bedding I saw, and other sundries. And desks, beds, there we go. Furniture. There's not many of them, but they're there. Where are all the barrels? There you go, cargo and barrels, and there we go, yep, sure. Cool. So this is going to be, I think this would be a fitting goblin base, maybe? It's huge though. It really is huge. It'll work. It'll be good enough. If these are 15 by 15, that should have... Seems to have snapped to grid. Oh no, that's right. Something else was interfering. There we go. That's right. Cool, I like that. That was a lot easier than I expected. That means I can delete all of these ones because it's nowhere near as good. Just change Mac background. All I'm going to do is, oops, drag, delete, drag, delete. So easy. If you're not familiar with if you're not familiar with Roll20, the tools are such an easy thing to use. So hey, hi everyone in channel. You can say hello. My name's Goblin. My name is Karsh the Goblin. This is the Goblin Cave, and I'm currently doing a We Be Goblins stuff, just like a GM prep. There. That's kind of what we're doing. We Be Goblins Starfinder. Wow, that didn't come out very well, did it? So I'm using very, very old overlays. So I do ask for a pot there. But forgiveness. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yep, there we go. So yeah, come say hello. My name's Karsh the Goblin. This is the Goblin Cave. We're just pretty much making some spaceship stuff, internals of the spaceship, and just having some fun. Let's see what else, what other assets we've got that we can put in. Okay, so we need an encounter area. See what we've got for an encounter area. We'll scroll down and see if they've got pre-builts. And thankfully this looks to be the same person that built the last lot, so at least look universal. Because for me it's very important to actually have everything look very similar. Which is why, generally speaking, I use Gabriel Picard for his map making. There's a lot of assets in this pack. But are there giant ones? Bendy bits, bendy, 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 bendy. No, it doesn't have. Let's scroll back up again. Minimize that. So I'd much rather have a full pack, like a preset. Something like that, but bigger, than to just build my own. Because building my own takes a long time, takes a lot of work. Yeah, things like this. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Oh, that would be fun. Hoping that's a 30 by 30. Yep, 30 by 30. Set dimensions. And go bang. Also probably need to set the dimensions of this that I'm working on. To the same 30 by 30. It's no use making a map 30 by 30 if it's not sitting on a 30 by 30 map. Line up the corners. Let's have a look. Oh, this looks dark. Now my issues are going to be is that I'm going to have to do dynamic lighting on every single corner of this map. I can do it, it just takes time. But the look of this map is going to be so dark and so atmospheric. I'm going to love using these. So that's a definite yes. Now because the maps are quite dark, I'm going to change the light for the hexes. There. That'll hide the hexes a little bit more. So that's 666. I think that one works better. Let's try the same for this one. There we go. Yeah, that hides them quite a bit. So you don't want your hexes when using Roll20 to be over the top. You want them to be subtle in most maps. So this is the old school We Be Goblins map. Once it loads in, the hexes are prominent. They are quite obviously there. This is my version of that same map. So again, the picture is more obvious, the hexes are minimal. I could have actually moved those hexes to be less. This is a barrow taken from the Princes of the Apocalypse. Once again, the hexes are quite dominant, at least the thicker hexes. So there's pluses and minuses. I prefer them to go away, to be in the background. Let's have a look at our lighting options as well. So I'm going to go yes to dynamic lighting, yes to everything. Okay, so this one's going to be lit up a bit more. This one's going to have global illumination on, because this will be the goblin base. So goblins, I like this as an encounter. So entry exit, I can actually put that on the map too. Where am I? Tools, text. I don't want it in black, that's for sure. Light grey will do. Bring it up to 20, see how that goes. Entry. Exit. There's no buts down there. So all I'm going to do for this, dynamic light all the edging, which is going to take a long time. Map layer. Map layer that too. So dynamic lighting all the edges so the players can see what they can see. And all the map lines up, so that's really good. And yeah, that should be really good. Just don't know about these bits here, if they're raised platforms or not, or if I'll use them as raised platforms. So you can see down here, there's so much more details. It's like you've got a big gaping hole here. Is that the wall here and everything else is raised? I don't think so. I'm going to have to probably do it from here. But oh well, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, thanks for coming. Like, please say hello. Hey, host for every season. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you. I am currently doing a special version of We Be Goblins, and if you can see how dark the map is, I am doing a space version of We Be Goblins. So I'm making a home base for our goblins in our spaceship, in our derelict spaceship, and I'm making an encounter and a finale. So that's what we're doing tonight, or today, and I'm using preset assets from Roll20 because it's so much faster, and I can drag and drop assets such as these off the side of the screen and go, let's use that, which is kind of what I just did then. So this is going to be our random encounter, this is our entrance, this is our exit. I will be dynamic lighting this entire map. So in theory the players can go from here to here without issue. In reality they're going to have to navigate the entire map to get from one side to the other, because it's all going to be dynamically lit and everything's going to be dark. So yeah, that's so that's second, and a finale. Finale is going to have to be a bigger map or a more broader map, I think. So things like, I know I'm zoomed quite out here, but let's have a look. So maps like that I don't think is going to work. I'm looking for something a bit more open spaced. Ideally a big hangar or something on engine bay. There's a lot of very dark assets here. I've even got doors. Awesome. They'll come in useful too. I know where they are. Life support systems, maybe. That may be a nice place to have an encounter. I'm thinking life support. I'm thinking engine bay would be good as well. Ooh, power and press gang quarters. No, that's just too big. Too much mess. Pump station may be workable. Oh, certainly. 30 by 30, this is it. Oh, Shipworks Foundry. Foundry or reactor? I was always wanting to do the reactor. Yeah. I'm going to keep it the reactor. So this is going to be the set dimensions into units 30 by 30. And I'm going to go here to actually change the overall map size because it's needs to go up to 30. Oh wow, that's gonna be fun. That's huge. Oh, I like this map. I'm liking this map. This is going to be a good one. So one entrance here, no other exits. Still a lot of dynamic lighting to do, but this will make a great encounter, a great finale of finales. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm liking this. If I only had aliens. I may have some alien assets. I may have to buy some alien assets for my encounters. Yeah, question is, do I want it lit or dark still? Because lit, this comes up on screen really well. But the dark one doesn't really come up on screen very well. So where are my dimensions? So yeah, so that's the dark one compared to the light one underneath. It's certainly a difference in colour. But I like the idea that the derelict spaceship is a derelict and it's only got emergency lighting. And it's the only lighting that is throughout the entire ship. Yeah, I'm going to go with the emergency lighting still. If I could have isolated and just had this room, say, it's not allowing me to go. Just had this room at least. So if I could isolate and just have this room here being lit, that would have been great. But that's not going to be the case. Actually, no, I can do that. It'll take some Photoshop, but I can actually do that. I can probably do that. I'll just take this one and that one into Photoshop and cut out where I want it to be lit, which would essentially be all this will be dark, all of it will be dark, and we'll start there in the darkness underneath, and then we'll work our way up, and then this section here will just be bright and lit. It will be a nice little climactic change, I think. So I'm going to have to look into that, and I think that'll work quite well. So thanks for everyone. Have a look, come in, thank you, talk, chat. Otherwise I'm just going to chat to myself and continue chatting to myself because no one else is talking to me. I'm a very social person. I really am. So what we're going to do is go to map layer, move that in. I'm still going to have to do the dynamic lighting no matter what I do. The dynamic lighting still has to be important. Because it blocks areas. If you're unfamiliar with dynamic lighting, it's so important in Roll20, especially for the atmosphere. And it blocks lines of sight, so the player can only see what that character can see, and it makes a huge difference from a player's perspective. Let's see, is there anything else we can do? Or is there any other big maps I can use? Possibly for... No, it's not. Pump station, maybe not. Well, that could have been an interesting encounter, actually. Pump station. That's too big. Way too big. Yeah, maybe not. I'm still trying to limit everything. And life support, maybe not, yeah. But I've got to remember doors. Door. And door. I'm just dragging them onto that because I'm going to be needing them. That's all I'm doing. So the assets are there. Although they're very hard to see. Copy. Move them onto this side. That's another way of doing it. I can actually force the characters through areas by blocking doorways. That's another way of doing things. So I could... It's 1 by 2, isn't it? 2 by 1. Two by 1. I can say block here. Where am I? Draw. Is drawing. Yeah, I can block there. To force the players into other situations, into other areas, into other rooms. So I block there, they have to come around this way, and I can block here. And it's like, oh, they can't do it. So then they might have to come here. No, that's not going to work because that will be blocked. And they have to come back all the way through here to then get to the exit. That is a good way. I'll send them through a labyrinth of rabbit holes. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Yeah, I think that's going to be my plan. Send them through a labyrinth of rabbit holes. Let's have a look at the number 2. So these are 2 by 2. Yeah, have a look at these. 2 by 2. I can see why they're 2 by 2, yeah. And I'll snap to grid at 2 by 2, yeah. So that should actually be... Let's take it off drawing. Set dimensions. There. And now, yeah, of course, now they work. Yeah. So yeah, what I'm thinking of, I'll actually do it that way. I'll put them there so players can actually see that's a doorway, you're not getting through it. That's a doorway, you're not getting through it. Yeah. It kind of breaks the line. But then again, remember they're going to be at this level. I hate this. There we go. Yeah. Really? You're not going... always struggling with doors. So if that's there, that's so much clearer to see than that being there. It's just so much clearer. But does it break the immersiveness? That's the catch. Having a door there doesn't break the immersiveness. Yeah, well, I'll have to look at that. But if I have a line there, then there's no way that they can. Yeah. They will see that it's blocked. I think I'm good with that. So that's a 1x2, which means this is supposed to be, let's try dimensions again, 1x2. Yeah, and that snaps into grid. Okay, now it snaps. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I'm good with that. I think I'll use this. Let's move this one off there. Just brainstorming, that's all I'm doing. Yep. There we go. Start moving. Well, that's a lot quicker than I expected. I've still got a heck of a lot of dynamic lighting to do. And bonkers amount of dynamic lighting to do on these maps. Because everything's physical structures. Copy. So as you can see above there all the other bits and pieces that I do for that. Counter and so I put in conclusion, not finale, because I can't spell finale. Just a heads up. That's why. Yeah, put that there just so I can see where the other doors are too. And I'll get to work on the dynamic lighting at another time. Unless people want me to do dynamic lighting now, I can do it now if you really want. I don't mind. But I probably won't be able to get it all finished because it is substantial. There you go. It's going to be substantially a lot. I'll just have a look at the... I think this one I'll do first if I was going to do it. So with dynamic lighting, move to dynamic lighting level. You want polygon, you want a bright color, thin line, and the most important thing, absolutely most important thing, zoom right in to the map. As close as you can go is where you want to go. That could be vents. I could use those as venting. I really could. I could use those parts as venting. Oh, I'm tempted, but I won't. Really tempted though. So what you want to do when you're doing this is zoom all the way in, and you start at the very edge of the map, go click, and you essentially want to click it to the grid every single time. Click, click, and you'll be very precise. Now if you right click, it ends it, and which is also very useful to do every now and then. So I've ended there. So now that's all done. Now from here, because that looks like another thing as well, but something important here, so it actually ends there. So click, so that's there, unclick, click, done to the wall, unclick, done. Then we've got a unclick. Other thing is try to give the players at least some vision of what's there. Otherwise all they're seeing is blackness, so if you can halve that wall, it's actually really useful. Like here on the back side of the wall, so the players can actually see that it's a wall. Otherwise all they're seeing is black. There we go, almost there. I'm going to unclip soon. Hopefully I get to unclip soon. If I don't, if I make a mistake, I have to do all this again. There, unclip. Back of the wall. So it doesn't matter if you miss, like if it's not perfectly straight all the time. These areas may not even be seen by the players. But the idea is just to try all the time. Keep it neat, keep your concentration, keep that focus. And I'll spread this one right to the end. Unclip, there we go. Getting a little bit faster, a little bit adventurous. I know I shouldn't be. There we go. Almost complete, at least on the outsides. There we go. And unclick. So now cleaning up the doors a little bit. So there's a few mistakes here and there, but as I said, things don't have to be perfect. The fact that it's there makes it so much better, so beneficial. So wow, I'm getting a collection of people in here. No one's chatting though. So please, my name's Karsh the Goblin. This is the Goblin Cave. I'm just doing some GM prep for my, I think it's going to be my finale of We Be Goblins game. In my finale, the goblins are not going to be in the swamp, the normal brine stump marsh. They are going to be in a space hulk, well, going to be in a derelict spaceship. I should stop using space hulk, it is copyrighted, and at a guess I'm pretty sure White Wolf would be not liking people using that name. So anyway, so that's what we're doing right now. I'm currently doing the dynamic lighting. So if you're unfamiliar with Roll20, dynamic lighting in Roll20 means that the players cannot see past these lines. So if they're in this hallway here, they can see just that little exit out on each end, and their light is blocked by all these lines. It makes it actually really atmospheric when you're playing a Roll20 game, when you're doing role playing, because you're really can only see what you can see, and you don't know what's around the corner, and it happens quite often that there's stuff around the corner and maybe an enemy right around the corner and you don't know, and it's just sitting there waiting for you. Oops, and that's why we unclip. But it's fixable, it's just annoying. There we go. Unclick. There we go. So this is a huge map to do dynamic lighting for. A lot of barriers, a lot of walls, but spaceships are like that, so that's kind of knew what I was getting myself into when doing this. But I did want, because this was based off a because the game is actually based from Pathfinder, and Pathfinder have Starfinder, I always wanted to actually do a Starfinder version of it, and I thought this would be a fitting end to my multiple episodes of We Be Goblins. So yeah, they're not totally neat. I could probably fix them if I really needed to, but they're going to just serve the purpose. Thankfully the map is synchronous, otherwise I would have missed that one. How the heck can I do this? I'm just going to block it like that. They can see half of it. It's like, how do you do something like that? I'll do the same with this as well. So for mapping wise, this is not an easy one to do. I've done a few dynamic lighting environments before, but this is probably one of the hardest. Yeah, so the players can see some of that. I'll do the same with this. So I don't want to deprive the players with all of this vision. Like I want to block the lines of sight, sure. But I don't want them to not see what the map is for. Because the map looks awesome and I want them to be able to see just the details in this map. If that makes any sense. But things like that will be a line of sight issue. And I can just ask the players to have a little, essentially to have sure things make sense, I should say. So what I'll probably do is I'll block out some of this, because this in itself is a huge line of sight issue. Yeah, so just the legs, the dome, and I'll probably do a few of this as well. Yeah, I may have to do all of that, which is a shame because the players won't get to see it, which is what I'm talking about. I want to have the players be able to see all the everything of the map. Oh, there's another door frame here. Door frame, yep. There we go, getting there. Well, as I do like the idea of having these as tunnels. I could have used, but it would have meant my my work here doing the dynamic lighting would have changed, and I've had to do 2 layers of dynamic lighting. One for the outside of the tunnels, one for the inside of the tunnels. Although I think it could have worked. It could have actually made some very interesting ways around. And if I was to do another game where it's very much ship inside a ship and crawling around inside a ship, having them crawl into the tunnels, into the vents, would be very important. Yeah. So let's get this started here. Door frame. Doesn't have a door frame. Here we go. All the way across. So concentration phase. It's not pretty, but hey. Yeah. So the players get to see some of what's going on there. As I said, I don't want to deprive them of how good looking this map is. So when you're doing doors, it's also really important when you're doing doors to have a big thick line, because doors can be opened, you want to be able to move that line. So if you've got a big thick line and a different color, of course, you can just drag them, put them somewhere else on the map. There's a door line there. So I'm just doing the edges of the doors, but when I'm doing a proper door, it'd be a thick line, probably a bright color. I'm using bright color because it's a dark environment. There we go. So getting them down. I'm sure, because I keep on skirting the outsides, I'm sure the middle's missing lots. I'm just really struggling with this dark, like, yeah. So I did that because there's a tiny little gap there. And always check your work. Door, 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 door. On both sides. Door, door. Yes. Doors, doors. One. One. There we go. So that's pretty good. So this one's the scary one. I'm apprehensive about, actually. So instead of doing that, should be able to draw shapes. Hold Alt for circle / elliptical. Hold Shift to snap to grid. So I want to try to do an oval here. Well, I could just do it from here. And just this main part and a little bit of that main part. That way they can see at least there's substantialness behind it. So otherwise they won't see any of this. But it's certainly something that's blocking everything. Yeah. So this, go across, down, out, or maybe even go to here, across there, out. Oh boy, this is not any fun. But hey, that's what we're here for. And this is just one of 3 maps. Actually, I'm not going to do the goblin one, because the goblin one, because it's supposed to be the community, I don't want them to be people to be restricted where they can move, because they know the community, they know the map, pretty much. Where do I start? What? So draw shape. Hold Alt for circle, which I was holding. Let's try Alt on this side. So my keyboard's getting old. Whoa. I've never had that. There we go. Oops, why isn't that? Why am I not being able to move it? I can shape it, but I can't move it for some reason. Yeah. So I'll copy this and paste it there as well. There. And I'll do this. I'll just change the angle on this one. That way, yeah, I can snap from here instead. Yeah, that kind of works for the angles for these ones. I've never really used shapes in this, but it seems to work. Copy. Paste. That's too much. There we go. Perfect. Any other roundy objects that I can do that to? Let's see. There we go, there's one more. Yeah, that seems to work. I could do these too. Oh no, but I won't. It's just too much. And in theory, I actually have to do this. Just think there's professionals that actually do this for a living. So hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Castle Goblin. This is the Goblin Cave. This is a channel dedicated to live role playing. We do 3 shows a week. We use the Roll20 system, which is what I'm on currently. I'm currently doing a dungeon prep session. Our 3 shows a week are We Be Goblins, where this is the finale, and we do that on Sunday nights in American time, Monday morning Australia. We do My First Dungeon, which was on earlier today, which is a group of newer or starting level role players, or Dungeons and Dragons players, or just Roll20 players. And then we have our Prince of the Apocalypse tomorrow night, US time, which is tomorrow morning for my time, where 5 adventurers are doing a level, like a grand campaign. They're hilarious, they're amazing, they have me in stitches. So what I'm doing now is a dungeon prep, where I'm actually working in the Roll20 system to use dynamic lighting. So with dynamic lighting in Roll20, the players will not be able to see past these barriers that I'm putting in place. So I've just seen another area I've missed. So the barriers that I'm putting in place stop light from going from one to the other. So the player, if the player was standing in here, he'll be able to see to here, and that will block the light around the corner. So somehow I've got this whole big object here I need to dynamically block, because it's huge, it's too high, it'll block sight, but I want to show the players at least the outlines and what's going on here, because I think it's impressive, and I don't want to remove things from the map from the player's view. So yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out the ways of lighting it without blocking everything on the map, because in theory all that area is going to be blocked. It comes all the way up here too. So that's what's going on. So come on and have a chat, say hello. That's what I'm about. Yeah, if you've got role-playing questions or anything like that, or questions about Pathfinder or role-playing systems, anything, or just want to chat, I'm okay. It's all good. If you want to donate, we're an affiliate Twitch people, so we're Twitch affiliates, so you can actually do subscriptions, donations, bits, tips, all the other bits and pieces. Although this overlay may not have it all set up, because it's not a common overlay for me. But yeah, that's what we're doing. That's why we're playing with circles. Lots and lots and lots of circles, because those circles are going to be meeting up. So we're going to first do this circle to here, then to there, and then see. And now that's not going to be blocked off from the characters, from the players. So the issue is this map is so dark. Although thinking what I could have done is had the brighter version of this map, dynamically layered that, and then just remove that and place this in front of it. That would have been smarter. So we're going to go to here, and there to there. Same thing here. Yeah, I don't like that. Just going to do these ones straight. Ish, straight-ish, close enough, yeah. Out in. So everything I'm putting in here will be blocked line of sight from the players, but I want them to see as much as they can of this glorious map. There we go. Okay, so that's going to block a lot of it. Oh, I've still got more. Man. It would also allow a lot of vision. I'm also going to have to figure out or find out whose map assets I'm using to put in the credits. Because I don't know if these is Gabriel Picard's, which is who I usually buy stuff from. So I'll just quickly open up another one and have a look. My purchases in the marketplace. I've got a lot of purchases, so let's see what I've got here. Oh no, they are Gabriel Picard. Draft A spaceships or spacecraft. Cool. That makes things easy. Okay, so we've got all that done. I think all the spokes are done. All the angles are pretty much set. I mean, I could do these as well, but it's just, I don't want to block too much from the players. I mean, line of sight, yeah, sure, but I could dome that off actually. There we go. That kind of domes those. I could do that too. There we go. Yeah, that's a weird shape, but it'll fit that corner. And it's not the only one I need to do that for, so I'll have a look at the others. I've seen that in other areas. And this map is fairly symmetrical, so I could have just went opposite area. There we go. But it gives a nice curve. And generally speaking, you don't have curves for dynamic lighting, so it's nice to actually use them for once. I could do the same here. Yeah, I thought I did that. And I could block that off as well, but once again the players won't be able to see it if I block it. So you're talking about like giving the players as much vision as possible, but also restricting key areas of vision. And that's dynamic lighting done. Now I've got to then somehow, well, I can do it. What I'm going to do is actually download these assets, because there's a light version of this and a dark version. So what I'm going to plan on doing is getting the light version and the dark version, put them into Photoshop, and so the dark version is going to be all this and below, and then all this up here is going to be bright light. It's going to be the top one, and I think that will work really nicely. So we're going to draft a spaceship. Draft a spaceship cruisers, or is it just draft a spaceship? So cruisers, cruiser mapper. This is the one, draft a spaceship. So if you do buy assets in Roll20, you can actually download those assets because they are yours. And so then what you do is you can put them into a massive map itself, and then save it and then upload that map without having like so many layers loading up all the time. It does take a lot of work, but that said, what happens is you've got one map being loaded instead of one map and 50, 60 plus assets on top of that map. So the first maps I was playing with, I made a map of like 400 by 300, like 5 foot squares, and it was bonkers in size, just absolutely bonkers. It looked great, but if you had something like a laptop or something that wasn't powerful or a slow internet connection, it was just burning things down. It was just really far too big. So you're downloading this now, and it's not taking any issue. And as I said, what I'll do is get Photoshop, and I'll get the two maps, and I'll just cut the layers off, and it should work quite well. And because I can do that, I can then re-upload it, put it in here, and you'll have this clear difference in the two maps, and the dynamic lighting layer won't make a difference because you won't see it. So I'll actually do that off screen because it's laborious, and it'll be something that I have to teach myself how to, kind of. So yeah, other than that, I think I'm pretty much done for the stream. Thanks for joining me, thanks for watching. I've got one more that I have to do for vision, for your dynamic lighting. Oops, what am I doing? So I'll do the dynamic lighting on this and start fixing doors. And I'll make it into a just a nice little jigsaw for like nice little maze for everyone. As in have some doors that are going to be totally impassable. I think that'll work out quite interesting. I think that'll be quite enjoyable. For something you got to go from one side to the other. Just block the doors. Block them, done. Make them go around the long way. And put in counters depending on where they're going. So it'll slow down the game a little bit, maybe a bit longer. But we'll see how we go. So yeah. So thanks for joining, thanks for watching. As I said, my name is Karsh the Goblin. There we go. My name is Karsh the Goblin. This is the Goblin Cave, and we are a channel dedicated to live role playing. We do 3 shows a week. We do We Be Goblins, which is a comical Pathfinder adventure, which we use a 5th edition version of just for ease of play and to get 5th edition players to look into maybe Pathfinder stories, because I think it's an amazing story, an amazing game, and Pathfinder has a lot of great stories. But that said, it's a comical, light-hearted adventure where the players take on the role of heroic goblins. And so this is going to be our finale of that, which should be quite interesting, because we've done 6 or 7 shows of that over the last few months since we started airing, and we're going to take a break next month of this show, and we're going to essentially use the time to get the other 3 We Be Goblins games up and running, either in as a 5th edition or bring it back to the original Pathfinder, because Pathfinder has finally got a really good official character sheet, and hopefully it'll work now for streaming, because unfortunately the old character sheet was just too confusing to enter, to use, and for new players, which is what these games are designed for, and what I like for my show to be for. So also the shows we have this week, or every week, is My First Dungeon, which is a cast of newer role players. They're exploring the Sunless Citadel from the Yawning Portal package, and they're learning paranoia of dungeons, searching for things, traps, monsters, hit dice, all those type of things, all in the worst possible environment of essentially a location trying to kill you. But it's quite fun. And then we have tomorrow, which is Wednesday nights for the US and Thursday mornings for Sydney, which is where I'm from. We have our main show, our principal finale, our principal show for each week, which is our Princes of the Apocalypse. The Prince of the Apocalypse has 5 cast members of varying skill levels, but they are amazing role players, all of them just spot on. They voices, everything. Yeah, the amount of role playing, the amount of backstory hints and bits and pieces, it just blows me away. So proud of them. We have custom artwork, custom tokens. We have access to all the books, all the races, everything. We're doing rolling for hit points, rolling for ability scores. Everything's random, so we have fighters with like rolling 1 or 2 as their hit points per level. I do know there's a single backup character, at least one backup character, that has 1 hit point for first level. So we'll see how that goes. I know the characters really want to survive because they want their characters to keep going, and I'm personally, as a GM, I want their characters to keep going because I've read their backstories. They're really interesting, and I want to have those come out slowly, and they are already starting to come out slowly. So I think we're about 5 episodes in. It's very much worth the watch, and in between we do Let's Plays every now and then. I don't announce them because it's just when I have time and I'm not doing a jam prep. We also do jam preps, which I don't announce because cast members can come in and see. Not always great. But other than that, we're here having fun, and we're going to be finishing for the day. So bye for now, and hopefully you come back on another show. But please click on follow, that'll give you alerts. Click on subscribe if you want to have ongoing donations to the channel, or you can just donate. Please donate. It actually costs a lot of money to put on a show. Costs a lot of money to set up a stream and things like that. So yeah, we're running off donations at the moment. Donations, tips, bits, anything you can put into the Goblin Horde would be muchly appreciated. So my name's Cash the Goblin. I'll be going. So bye.